I get this question quite often. I'm Fareen Ash. I've decided to come on live today, and I'm not sure if this is working. So, for any of you that are in YouTube land, let me know, but I will just double check as well. Just to make sure, since this is one of the first times that I'm actually coming on live. Okay, good. It looks like I'm live. So, you know how a man feels about you by the way in which he makes you feel. So, I know this might sound a little bit confusing, but a man that actually really cares about you and is interested in you is always going to be moving towards you. So, a man that is interested and is sort of commitment minded, and oftentimes a man won't really know where he feels in terms of like commitment with you right away, but he'll know as time progresses. The main thing to keep in mind though is the way in which you're feeling. So often, and by the way, there's a few people on here, so say hi. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to do this chat thing. This is like one of the first times I'm coming on live um, with this program. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. Hi, Shireen. Okay. Hi, Finding. Dory. Okay, yay, this is so fun. Okay, so oftentimes what happens is we'll get into a situation with someone, and I'm just gonna close this so I don't get distracted. We'll get into a situation with someone and we'll start liking the guy and we'll be super interested in him, and like all of our feelings will be like evoked when we like someone, right? And what I want you guys to think about is like the anxious feelings and the not good feelings are an indication that they're an indication of his interest level in you as well. Because when a man is really interested in you and he's like committed to making you his woman, and of course there's like different stages of where this sort of applies, but we can just kind of speak to generally for now, and then if you guys want me to move more into specifics I can. In either event, if a man is sort of meets you and he's interested in you, what's going to happen is he's going to want to solidify that, right? And the way that a man solidifies his interest in a woman and his sort of desire is he moves towards you. And when a man is moving towards us, how do we feel? We feel good, right? It feels good to us. And so a man that is moving towards you and is, communicating with you consistently, is moving things forward, is solidifying things, is going to make a woman feel good, secure, happy, peaceful, content. So it's not so much, this is how you know if a man's interested in you. So if a man is not communicating, not solidifying things, not asking you out, is, and you are feeling, so how do you know this? So you are feeling anxious, you're feeling scared, you're feeling upset, you're feeling all those feelings. What's likely happening is he's not sort of moving things forward. And if he's not, oh, you're welcome, Dory. And if he's not doing those things, it's going to evoke it's going to evoke yucky feelings within us, right? So how do you know how a man feels about you? Look within yourself to see how you're feeling, right? Because again, and I can talk to about my partner and sort of any sort of masculine man that I've been with. They make it very known, and they are very committed to me feeling good, right? The moment that I'm not feeling good in my relationship, even though my partners can sometimes get defensive because he's a man, he's a masculine man, and so depending on my approach, my approach can either move him into the protection, his protecting instincts right away, or it can move him into like a defensiveness, right? And that isn't necessarily him. It's also in my approach to him, right? Because if I'm triggered and I'm coming to him in a way that he's taking it to mean I'm not good enough in something that he's doing, his natural response is going to be to shut down, right? And he's going to get defensive because a man doesn't want to feel he's not good enough, right? So it's never just about the man. We can't put everything on the man. We have to also look at ourselves to see, well, how am I approaching him, right? But any single time there's a point where I don't feel good in a relationship, or I'm unsure, and I communicate it, the men I've been with, or masculine energy men, or men that are interested, their natural inclination is to fix it and to make it, to make me not feel that way. So, which again brings me back to a space of security and feeling good and comfortable and happy in the relationship because I'm feeling like I'm taken care of, right? So you don't always want to it's not so much how much you like a guy that makes a difference. I really want you guys to understand this. And if you have questions, um, I know that on live stream I can get a little bit distracted, but if you guys are enjoying this, like let me know because I feed off of that and I enjoy that and I appreciate knowing if you guys are if this is resonating with you guys, right? Because then I'll come on live a little bit more. But what's really important to keep in mind as well is it's not don't focus so much on how much you like the guy because if you're focusing so much on how much you like the guy, you're missing the signs and the cues of whether the person if whether he likes you. Oftentimes when a woman likes a man so much, what tends to happen is she becomes overly invested and she becomes very attached to his um, communication or his actions, so what he's doing, what he's not doing. And what happens with men is, and especially healthy men, masculine energy men, they can feel it. And so when a man feels that this woman is overly invested, just biologically, what's going to happen if he's again, if he's a secure man, right? His ego is going to sort of kick in, so it'll feel good. But if the woman ends up, liking him more, he doesn't have any sort of room to sort of fill that gap, and it's not going to feel good to him. So this is something that's really important to understand. So even a man, if men comment on any of my content, because by the way, there's a lot of unhealthy men out there, like 90% of men are unhealthy, right? Um, and they want you as the woman to do the work, right? Men that understand my messages get that, yes, I want to be innately the one to pursue the woman. And they will feel this desire when they meet a feminine energy woman, because when they meet a feminine energy woman, the woman is warm and happy. Her energy is like very similar to mine, right? There's a warmth, there's a laid backness, there's a flow. It's just very nice, right? So the man will feel good with that because the woman is, giving her energy, which is really what men want. And the man will continue to move forward without the woman having to do anything to sort of gain his interest, right? So a woman should never ever have to lead in a relationship at all. At all. You never need to lead. And oftentimes the reason you guys are leading is because the man is not um moving things forward, right? So if the man is not moving things forward, and then what ends up happening is we don't feel good, instead of recognizing that, oh, I don't feel good, right? This doesn't feel good, and like sitting with those feelings. And I teach you how to do this in Secrets of the Feminine Woman. So if you guys don't have an opportunity to work with me privately or book a call with me, definitely get that book. It's going to help you so much with the healing aspect. But when a man is not moving towards us and then we're feeling yucky inside and we don't know how to self-soothe, we don't know how to emotionally regulate, what we do is we move into action. And we're moving into action because he's not moving things forward or initiating or calling. And so instead of sitting with the feelings and looking inward, because we want to look inward and we want to assess what's happening here, right? In the beginning of this video, I mentioned, and I took accountability, where if I get into something with my partner or I'm not feeling good, the way in which I communicate my feelings to him is 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 going to sort of dictate his response to me. So it's not all about him, right? Like that's not fair. It's not fair to put everything on a man. It's not fair that, okay, I'm triggered and I'm upset by something and then I just like emotionally react to him and expect him to sort of um make me feel better. Masculine energy men don't do that. They don't react like that. They become defensive and they pull away, right? So that has nothing to do with the man. That's our own personal work, right? We want to be in touch with the negative feelings that we're feeling in a situation, and we want to assess a few things. We want to assess, am I always feeling this way? Am I just a woman that's like unhappy, don't feel good within myself, and I'm looking for external validation to make me feel good about myself? Am I that type of woman? And all of a sudden, this man came into my life, he's giving me attention, and now I feel good. And now he's pulled away, and I don't feel good. Wait, what's going on here? So if this man never came in here, was I happy? Or was I just not happy and he came in, I felt happy, and now I'm not getting the attention. I'm back to my default emotional state of not being happy. Or am I a woman that actually was happy? Was I always happy before this person came in? And now I'm noticing in his behaviors that, these things don't feel good, right? Or is it my period time? Is something going on within me that's creating like a reaction? What's going on? Or am I just not feeling good because he's not investing and he's not moving things forward? And if he's not investing and not moving things forward, does this mean that maybe he's just not that into me? So I want you guys to understand that when it comes to men, and again, I talk about masculine, feminine energy dynamics. I'm a polarity teacher. I teach about inner work and I teach about attraction, not just for women, but also with men, right? There are certain dynamics in relationships where that are traditional, because I am more of a traditional, um, I guess I would say I'm very traditional when it comes to relationship dynamics, but I also offer the modern twist in that when I'm talking about traditional relationship dynamics and relational dynamics and true feminine energy, I am not talking about a woman being submissive and a gold digger, right? I am not that, right? Like, I speak from who I am, and I speak from that space, meaning when it comes to traditional dynamics and a masculine feminine energy dynamic, I know my role as a woman, right? I know my role and I know my partner's role. That doesn't mean that I kind of lay back and I don't do anything with my life and I'm not ambitious or driven or anything like that. No, that has nothing to do with it. That's not a feminine woman. A woman that is feminine is integrated in both of her energies. So it's really, really important to understand that. And there is healing that is required for us to sort of embody that energy, right? So when we want to be in our feminine energy, there has to be an aspect of us, which is our masculine energy, to lead our own femininity, right? If I was not healed in my own masculine energy and I didn't do my own healing work, I would not be able to show up in the world as raw as I do, right? Even things like this, which is very, very uncomfortable for me, by the way, especially coming on live. It's uncomfortable, right? But this is my feminine energy and I'm supported by my own inner masculine. So we cannot be in our feminine energy without being integrated in our masculine energy. It's super important, right? So same with a masculine energy man. A masculine energy man, a true healthy embodied masculine man, is going to be very much attracted to a feminine energy woman, but that's because he's also integrated in his feminine aspects. So even with my partner, who's very much a masculine man, he's an athlete. What draws us together is that we're both integrated, right? So I have my masculine strength, and he has the component of love within him, right? So of course, he leads with his masculine and I lead with my feminine, but we have the opposing energies within us, that sort of binds us, because even in my past, I've been with masculine energy men that were not integrated, meaning they didn't have that feminine love sort of component. And so they weren't able to connect with me in the way that I needed, right? I need a man that is able to be there for me, hold my hand, be affectionate, touch me, like to relate to me in like those ways. And a man that is not connected to that side of him or rejects that side of him is not going to be able to function well with a feminine woman. So even if he craves it, he's not going to be able to function well with it. Instead, he's going to move into criticizing her often, which actually happened in my past relationship. And the reason that's happening is because when a man rejects that aspect of himself, he's going to naturally reject it in the woman, right? So as much as he's going to want to he craves it because he does. Even the men that I was with before, and like my previous partner, he's a very masculine man. He's a lawyer. He's accomplished. He's never going to be with a masculine energy woman. And even if he is, he's going to be out the door fast, right? In fact, I was his longest relationship. The reason for that is because I'm in my feminine. But if a man doesn't integrate his own feminine and he rejects that emotional side of himself, then even in a relationship with a feminine energy woman, it's not going to work, because there's going to be that aspect of rejecting her, which is ultimately rejecting herself. So I went off on a tangent. Let me just see. Thank you so much for this insight. I need to hear this and understand this so much. Oh, you're welcome, Lori. So what was I saying? it's really important to look within to find out why a man is sort of doing the things that he's doing. And that all stems from our own feelings. Okay. So, just so you guys know, like, let me just reiterate this again. A man that is truly interested in you. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If you're not feeling the feelings of like warmth, security, happiness, love, like what are all the juicy feelings? What are the feelings that you guys would want to feel when you're in a relationship? Definitely comment if anything comes up, but likely it would be happiness, joy, excitement. You'd feel good, you'd feel beautiful, you'd feel secure. If you're not feeling these things and a man is not giving you those feelings within, and you are feeling those things as a single woman, so you don't need anyone to give you those feelings. You feel that and he amplifies that, because a relationship amplifies the feelings we already feel within. Does this make sense to you guys? A relationship is only going to amplify the feelings that we have within ourselves. So if we're feeling happy, loved, secure, excited, those are feelings that we already feel with or without this person, right? This person now is coming and making us, and then is expanding that feeling, right? So for me, in my relationship, I'm already very feminine and girly and all these things. When I'm with my partner, and one of the things I recognized when I was with him early on in our courtship was I felt even girlier. I felt even more expanded. I felt even more feminine, right? I felt more of what I am, right? Now, that's how you feel more of that, right? When you're with a man and you're feeling good feelings, you feel good about yourself, but the relationship you're in or the person that you're with is making you, let's just say, smaller. So he's making you feel, thank you, Lori. He's making you feel, let's say it's like a shrinking feeling where the feelings you're getting, you're already feeling good. So let's say I'm already feeling good about myself. I feel happy. I feel secure. I feel feminine. I feel good, right? So the man that I'm with is going to be like, he's going to amplify that feeling. I'm going to feel more of those feelings if he's interested in me, right? If I'm with someone and I'm not feeling those feelings, and instead I'm feeling anxious, I'm not feeling good about myself, I'm questioning myself, I'm feeling bad. I guess anxiety is like a really good indicator, right? Because um, if we're feeling anxious in the dynamic and we're not feeling good about ourselves, something is not right, right? Um, that would cause me to question if this is the right person for me and if this person is even interested in me. So oftentimes you guys are so wrapped up in the ego, and I'm going to do a master class or something on the ego one day. For those of you guys that were in my inner work group, like I have a whole class on the ego, right? But some of you guys are so focused on ego stuff so that you can't accept reality, meaning, you're not feeling good with someone, or someone's not messaging you, he hasn't asked you out. So there was a woman that I spoke with, and we needed to do more inner work before she went into dating. So I for me, again, I'm a masculine feminine energy teacher. My desire in life, and when I work with a woman, it is to allow her to shine in her femininity. That means we're doing inner work, and it's really hard, right? All my clients will say this to you. If you guys join my free group on Facebook, you'll be able to speak with a lot of my clients there. I don't think there's any single client that will say to you that's worked with me privately that it's been easy. It's really freaking hard, true inner work, because I'm dismantling the ego. And when you're dismantling the ego, and you're shining a light to the ego, what's it gonna do? It's gonna rebel, right? And oftentimes the ego is not going to, it's not going to tell you reality. It's not going to tell you the truth about certain things because it doesn't want to face reality. And the problem with this is that if you don't accept that maybe this man is just not that into me, right? He hasn't called me, he hasn't reached out to me. So this one woman, actually, what happened was she was on a dating app and she met this guy, and she was not coming from a good healthy space within. She was not feeling good about herself, and she went on the dating app from a space of I don't feel good about myself. And Of course, she's attracting men that are narcissistic and men that so when you don't feel good about yourself and you're more on the feminine spectrum, you're going to attract narcissists. Okay? You're going to attract that codependent relationship because women that don't feel good about themselves that are more on the feminine spectrum, but the unhealthy feminine spectrum, so the very needy spectrum. So masculine women that are on the unhealthy spectrum are also needy, but there's a different energy there, right? The wounded feminine woman or a woman that is more on the feminine spectrum, she's going to come off very needy, right? It's going to be it's like leechy energy, right? Think about a leech, leechy energy. And so what happens is, who do you attract when you're a leech? You attract, well, you're the leech, but you also attract people that are, you attract people that want that energy, right? People that will feed into that energy, right? So that the man that will feed into that energy is the toxic man, right? The toxic man likes the attention of leechy women, and it's kind of like um, an unhealthy father figure, right? Like where um, they 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 don't feel good about themselves, and so what they do is they find women that are very codependent, don't feel good about themselves, and it gives them power because now they can take care of you, right? They can do all the daddy stuff, right? Healthy men don't want to be a dad, right? Healthy men want a partner, want a woman that they're attracted to. They don't want a dad, right? So this woman, and she comes from that energy, which is very, very, very helpless woman. Um, the helpless feminine, let's say. And I'm very familiar with this energy because this is the energy I gravitated to when I was younger, right? Because I'm more in my feminine energy, I am a feminine woman, you know, that's kind of the energy that I would gravitate to more, right? That's why I'm very familiar with it. It's like the helplessness, right? Um, but what happened with this woman is she'll go on the dating app from this like needy place, then she'll meet men that are very toxic. And one of the guys that she was speaking with, they were talking for like 3, 4 weeks just on the app. He never asked her out, nothing, right? Recently, she started working with me, and I told her like to get off the dating app because we need to do her inner work before she gets on the dating app. And the reason I say this is because I teach you, I'm not a dating coach that is interested in a woman having any man. I'm here to get you into the empowered feminine so you can attract the empowered masculine. Like, this is what I do, right? All the women that I've worked with that have gone on to become engaged and married, they're with masculine energy men. So it might take longer because for you to attract a masculine energy man, you have to move into the empowered feminine, right? You have to become that so that you can attract that. So I told her to get off the dating app because we need to do our own inner work. And she asked me about this guy, and I said, well, he hasn't asked you out. So, that in and of itself is unhealthy because a masculine energy man is going to ask you out, right? You guys have read the books. He's going to ask you out. And she went ahead and, sort of deleted the app. All good. Then she wasn't feeling good one day. And so what she did, and she didn't hear from him. So what she did was she went and found him on LinkedIn, and then she messaged him. So you see, this woman already wasn't feeling good. He wasn't asking her out. And so, do you see what I'm saying in terms of if our starting point and our emotional state when we're starting off dating or meeting someone is insecure, unhealthy, we don't know how to emotionally regulate, we don't feel good about ourselves, and then we meet a man and he's not asking us out, it's not that we are not feeling good because he's not asking us out. In this situation, we already don't feel good, right? We're not feeling good already. So he's just kind of mirroring that, right? And he's amplifying that feeling that we already feel of not feeling good. He's amplifying that feeling. So remember, I said that the feelings that a man is going to bring out in us, it's going to be an amplification of those feelings. So either he's going to make us feel better about ourselves or he's going to make us feel worse, but it's going to always be bigger, right? And so then they started talking, because every single time that she didn't feel good, she would message him. He still didn't ask her out. And, she said to me, and I said to her, how do you even know? How does this make you feel good? So, yeah, he's responding to you, but he's not messaging you first. And even if he does message you first, you're the one that went and looked for him after you turn the dating app off. If you're capable of doing that, so is he. So it kind of shows you where his interest level is, right? And in this situation, this has nothing to do with the man here. This is a woman's own inner work because she's not feeling good. And so she's going on the dating app and she's attracting these sort of men that are just amplifying and mirroring to her where she's at. That's why it's so important to do your own inner work before you move into dating, because even if you attract someone that's more in his masculine energy, you know, which is very, very unlikely, to be quite honest with you, because a man that's in his masculine energy is healthy, and his frequency is going to be in a different state than where your frequency is going to be at if you haven't done your inner work. Like, you just won't, you'll miss each other. So let's say you're going in a grocery store and there's a man that's healthy and he's empowered and he's masculine. He's done his inner work, right? He's just an empowered man. And so then we're here, we haven't done our inner work, we don't feel good about ourselves. We're vibrating at different, we're oscillating, and our frequency is completely different. So we'll walk by each other and we'll completely miss each other because we're not in the same frequency. And to get to a higher frequency, we have to do our inner work. Okay, let me just look to see if there's any questions. So Ashley asked, thank you, Lindsay. Okay, so thoughts on a man making you pay him back? Petty things such as $1 pads or driving 30 minutes to get plastic Tupperware. Is that ego? Okay, so again, like, does that feel good? I want you guys to think of the healthier version of yourself. Would it feel good if a man asked you to pay him back $1 or to drive 30 minutes to see him? I just want to wait to see if anyone can answer that. Would that feel good? Would it feel good if a man asked you to pay him back $1 or to drive to him 30 minutes? Probably not, right? No, that wouldn't feel good. So if a man is asking us to do that and that doesn't make us feel good, right? That does not feel good to me. Yeah, so that doesn't feel good to us, right? So if we go back to, you'll know how a man feels about you by the way he makes you feel. If that doesn't make us feel good, what do you think his interest level is in you if he's making you do that? Tam's like, no. Yeah, what do you think his interest level is? There's nothing in my brain that would communicate to me that this man is interested in me if he's asking me to pay him back $1. So, okay, here's where the ego comes in, right? So if a man is asking me to drive to him and asking me to pay him back $1, what goes through my mind is this man is just not into me, and that's okay because this is not the right man for me. Bye. So ego, how ego would show up here is there's different layers of the ego. Let me just write this down for a second, because I've been wanting to do a class on this. So low interest, yeah. There's different layers of the ego. So how ego would show up in this situation in terms of our reaction is making excuses for him and not being in touch with the fact that this man is probably not interested in me, because a man that's asking me to pay him back $1 definitely cannot be interested in me. Now, again, there's a lot of nuances here because yes, this man could also not be healthy. And again, if you guys follow my work, you read my books, you've been in my free Facebook group, you know anything about me, you know that I always focus on your own personal inner work. Do you think that a man would ever ask me for $1? No. I don't attract that. We're always going to attract a level of who we are, right? And it's important to look at the various patterns in your life to see what am I attracting, because if we're attracting the similar situations, similar men, and it's on repeat, right? There's something going on in our own frequency or aura that is inviting that, because not everyone has those experiences, right? My experiences are going to be different from Lori's experiences, from um, Naomi. Okay, so Naomi wrote a comment. Heck no, $1. Shock. Can you guys see her vibe? Her vibe is like, no way. So our energy is what attracts everything to us, right? Her energy, Naomi's energy is super powerful and super empowered, right? That wouldn't even come into our experience. So depending on where our energy is and our vibe is, and Ashley, I've spoken to you before, I definitely want you to do a little bit more inner work, because in terms of the way, and there's no judgment. The only way we're going to learn is if we can see how we show up in everyone, and we only see that through everyone's energy, right? So with Ashley, even in the question, it can feel a little bit more disempowered, right? Like with the woundedness in us, right? Um, so what will generally happen is we'll attract that type of man because our aura is sort of inviting that in. I hope that makes sense. So if you have just, do you guys have any questions? This is a long live stream. It's 30 minutes. Do you guys like me coming on live? Let me know if you guys like enjoy live streams. I'm still getting used to like videos, and but I definitely want to try different ways of sort of coming on here to see if you guys enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will connect with you soon. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this format, and oh, you loved it. Okay, good. And I will speak with you guys soon. Okay, love you. Bye.